tradition-rich teams. At the end of the night, a handshake line or one last game. And these two teams have played a marvelous first-round series. It's so close.
From one of the capitals of the world, New York City, we're at Madison Square Garden for Game 6. A stay-alive game for Montreal and a move-on game for the New York Rangers. Any sports psychologist would tell you pressure comes from within. So who do you think is feeling it more tonight?
All right, here we go. We'll protect you, man, okay? That was beside you.
Puck comes out, scores! Yemelin! The Canadians draw first blood.
Attaboy, Emmy. Great job, boys. Attaboy, Lackey. One more. Here it is.
Nice. Look down that cross. It's swept on to Zuccarello. Score!
Just score here.
There's Hayes. There's Zuccarello. He scores! So the New York Rangers have a 2-1 lead after two.
What a save made by Lundqvist.
Down towards the empty net, and this will do it.
He just shut the door. He was just a brick wall. He's the king of two or less.
So let's regroup and get the next round in. Come on, boys.
What a series that was. The Rangers wrapping it up in 6. You can see the goals pretty tight. Rangers just 1 for 15 on the power play in those 6 games. 2 overtime games, 1 win apiece. But it's the Rangers moving on to face Ottawa in round number 2. What do we learn from the Rangers in the first round?
That Henrik Lundqvist is really good. I mean, we know that goalies have the ability to win a series. And we know Henrik Lundqvist has that ability probably more than just about any other goalie. But the fact of the matter that he was able to stare down the other end, see Carey Price there, see the Bell Center in Montreal, a rink where he has not had much success over his career, and be the difference maker in this series for the New York Rangers, has to give them so much confidence going into whoever they play throughout the rest of their playoffs. Ottawa Senators up next, that we have the best goalie in this series. Whoever they play against, that's how the Rangers will feel. And when you feel like you have that, you have a good chance.
And in front of Henrik Lundqvist, their defense was solid. Brady Shea, Ryan McDonough were horses throughout that series. And I think that was something that was going to be a part of the question mark that I was looking at, is defensively, is this team going to be able to match defensively the Canadians? And goaltending-wise, they definitely did it. They won that battle. And defensive-wise, I think they won that battle as well. And it was because of Brady Shea and Ryan McDonough in front of Henrik Lundqvist.
What we learned about their opponent, Ottawa, is that their star player is playing injured right now, and usually we find that information out when a team is out of the playoffs. This team is not. They're still playing. Does that surprise you?
It does, for that very reason. We know a lot of guys play hurt, and the news comes out, and we admire all of them. But Erik Karlsson, pretty frank in offering up that he's playing with some fractures in the heel of his foot, and he's still going on. I mean, I don't know if you... It's tough to target an ankle or a heel, even more so because it's locked into a pretty solid boot, but... if you could, you now will. So I'm surprised that he would do that. But I guess it just goes to show how great he is, because in that first round series against Boston, where goals were hard to come by, creative plays were hard to come by, he was the dynamic difference maker. You look at his regular season stats, they're tremendous, as are his playoff stats. And he never had to answer anything about his defensive play or his toughness or anything about the way he plays the game. He is great. But if you're one of the guys who were wondering, perhaps he answered some of those things this year with his more two-way play, with his toughness playing, with his leadership in this tough series. He's really shown himself to be the complete package.
I agree with you, Mike. He's really just answered those questions. Can you play the defensive part of the game, which a lot of people didn't think he was able to do, but he never had that opportunity to play in the penalty kill, never had that opportunity to be a shot blocker. He got that under
that's why they kept him off the penalty kill.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So he's not going to get injured
exactly.
with shot blocking. But he proved to everybody that he can play that part of the game, and he can be just as dangerous a man short as he can at even strength and on the power play. And I think maybe the comments that he made about his foot and the two fractures are more of the Superman theory, that players think they're indestructible, and he's got such confidence in his ability and such confidence with the way he's playing. It doesn't matter. I can tell you I'm hurt. Yeah, I got a couple of cracks in my foot. No big deal. It's not going to hurt me anyhow. It's not going to slow me down. But you're right. It's difficult to target a foot, unless it's on the top of your foot where you can whack
yes.
it. But if you try to whack a guy in the heel, you have as good a chance of tripping him as you do of getting it through that hard plastic boot. So it's very interesting. I found it very odd that he did comment. I'm sure that Guy Boucher and the management of Ottawa are not very happy that he commented about his injury, but I can't remember the last time a player
and also,
commented about
is there any positive?
It shines a spotlight on it, so next time if I'm going to take a crack at it, I mean, the refs will be keenly aware that this guy's hurt, and if he's going to be targeted in that area, then maybe that draws attention to it. Maybe he gets more protection because now everybody knows that, in fact, he does have an injury in his foot.
Gamesmanship.
So you think he's that
Mental
smart?
games.
You're putting it, they say he's that smart?
I think I'm with you.
He might be. He might be.
He just doesn't care.
We'll have to see how it plays out. When we were talking about looking at this matchup, you guys said Matt Zuccarello could be the X factor in this series. Why?
Because he is a distributor and he helps get everyone else involved. I know he scored 3 goals in that first round, including 2 in the clinching game, but his best asset is ability to create plays, and so much is made about getting pucks to the net and shots generated. Some players are better to pass, and Matt Zuccarello, with the way he sees the ice, the way he creates, and his ability to actually get the puck on his teammates' tape, that's how he gets those other guys involved. That's how he becomes a different maker. He probably won't score as many big goals in this playoff series, but he helps get everyone else involved, and we love the fact that he's got an edge. I mean, he's one of the smallest guys in the league, but he plays with a big edge, does not mind in getting under the skin of the opponent, which always is beneficial at playoff time.
In playoff time it is, because he's the type of player that you want to get under his skin. Because if you can get Zuccarello off his game, then maybe that disrupts the whole New York lineup, the New York offense, because a lot is centered around Matt Zuccarello. But Zuccarello does the opposite. He initiates more than he receives, which is a good thing in the playoffs, especially being that size.
All right, we'll have to see how this series plays out. Game 1 underway on Thursday night, 7 o'clock on CNBC. Game 2 set for Saturday. Both games in Ottawa as they have the home ice advantage throughout this series. It shifts back to MSG on May 2nd and May 4th. Those games can be found on NBCSN.